What's up, everybody, and welcome back to How to Be a Boss. I am Robert Carton Jr.
I'm Chrissy Brinson.
And I'm Seth Sheely.
So listen, before we get into today's episode, we just want to let you guys know about something new that we're doing over here at How to Be a Boss. It's podcast at aat.team. Feel free to email us. We want to hear from you guys, whether it be your business questions, life advice you may need, or you just want to let us know what you think about the show. We want to hear from you guys, and we are going to respond to you on future episodes. So again, it's podcast at aat.team. We want to hear from you guys.
And on today's episode, we're talking about how social media makes money. You know, when running a business, it's important to market and put yourself out there. And one of the top ways to do that is using social media. And in return, that can bring a profit, amongst other things. And that's what we're talking about on today's episode. So, getting right into it. What would y'all say are some key points that a new entrepreneur should know in regards to marketing their business?
Don't just use social media. So I guess I'm a little biased on this one just because we're in a real niche market, and a lot of our marketing, you guys do on social media to the public and just, to build the brand in general. But our sales reps are constantly using email lists and phone calls and, text messages, all the other media aside from social media to get the actual business. So I think that any new entrepreneur, I think you need to know where your market is. So where is your audience, and then get in front of them. So if your audience is 80-year-old men that live on the beach, you wouldn't go to a big city and use social media to market to them. So you just know where your audience is and then act accordingly.
Yeah, for 80-year-old men on the beach. I would say market on Facebook and CBS, because CBS is the old people network.
Yeah, or those airplanes that have the banner behind
Yes.
them, that ride down the coast. That would be what to do. So you just kind of have to get creative where your audience is. So in our case, we're marketing to dealerships, and we do have the social media aspect that you guys run. And we, obviously shout out to Get Business over there, but, throughout the day, we have to get in front of these dealerships by calling the general manager and having that conversation with them. And that's really the most effective way for us to do it. Now, if you are marketing to teenage and early 20s women for boutique clothing, obviously social media is where you're going to go for that.
Mm-hmm.
Put ads in front of them, so because that's where they're at, that's where they're shopping. So that would be a business where you're just going to use social media. But I think any business that strictly relies on social media to market their business, they're kind of like a pop-up store or a pop-up business, because that you can't just use that and rely on that, because when that stops working, what are you going to do?
Mm-hmm. So do you think that there are any negative impacts that social media can have on a business?
Absolutely, yes.
You said that real fast.
Yeah. Well, I think that if you are good at getting business but bad at follow-up, so if you are doing bad business, or if you are rubbing your customers the wrong way, or if there's anything negative in your processes, that is going to pop up really fast, and your social media is going to be detrimental, because you're going to get bad reviews, you're going to have comments and shares that are negative, and word spreads like a wildfire on social media. So if you don't have the back end of your business, nailed down to where the customer is satisfied, absolutely social media will ruin you.
I will say, just thinking about the first topic that we had about the tips for marketing your business on social media.
Mm-hmm.
You have to do things that get people's attention, but not in a negative way.
Right.
You have to do things that stay in people's faces and stay on folks' mind. Unfortunately, I'm not the type of person that encourages folks to hop on trends and stuff.
Okay.
But I also understand with businesses that, that may be a necessity
Hmm.
to, especially with like TikTok, to be in rotation and to stay in people's faces. Sometimes you have to get on whatever the latest trend is
Right.
to be seen. And I hate it a little bit with businesses because, sometimes some businesses ruin fun things,
Yeah.
but, I understand the mindset behind it. But, um, speaking of like negative things on social media, and I'm trying to get my thoughts together because this Red Bull has me running like a million miles an hour. This is the second one today.
Oh gosh.
Um,
You trying to have a heart
It's
attack?
10 o'clock,
You are
Robert. Stop
tripping.
it.
so
Caffeine overdose.
just a little bit. Um, would you say, are there any like social media networks that you would or like wouldn't recommend for a business to get on? I know one for sure.
Okay, so the woods, yes. Facebook, obviously, everybody's on Facebook. Um, However, just like every trend or every, good thing, all good things come to an end at some point.
Mm,
So while I feel like social media is here to stay, I feel like it will eventually be saturated. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So, like, you have plenty of businesses doing the same exact thing that you're doing on social media. So, you have to figure out ways to stand out. Facebook is a good place to advertise. Instagram is a good place to advertise. Those are nice, solid social media platforms. LinkedIn, if you are in the professional world, LinkedIn is a real good place to just, put stuff out there and get involved in the conversation. Um, No's for me would be obviously Twitter, because what the heck are we doing over there? Who
Twitter,
tweets
nah,
anymore? Like,
Twitter is fun.
no,
I,
why? Why is
I,
it fun though?
so from a professional standpoint, no, but like personal use, yeah, you can get a little unhinged on there, and like, you know, Wendy's, for example, we'll go back to like professional use, I guess. They're not really professional on there, but
Wendy's
you
has
know,
mastered Twitter.
they get
Okay.
attention from roasting people on there. And on Twitter, you can be a little more unhinged. It's just
Okay,
the
so Wendy's, okay, the one company that has figured this out. But like, all right, Wendy's provides a service that is really a necessity. You know what I
Mm,
mean?
Mhm,
Like, fast food isn't going anywhere. Wendy's is like a staple
mhm,
brand over there. So like, they're trying to stay in front of people,
mhm,
and they don't care what their customer
mhm,
looks like or does, or they,
mm.
you know what I mean, like they're just trying to get everybody
mhm.
to come eat at Wendy's. Like, if you're a ratchet, they don't care, come get a burger. But like,
Whereas we're not gonna find dealers
yeah,
on
like that's
Twitter.
not professional,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, if you're in a company where you are looking for a certain type of customer, so for us that would be like the professional world. We
Mhm,
aren't looking for, like, I don't want to do business with somebody who is avid on Twitter. I don't want to deal with that type of person. Like, cuz we're doing a long-lasting relationship at
Mm.
our company. So, in order to have that long-lasting relationship, you have to um you got to be able to like that person. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
mhm,
but
yeah.
like, if you're doing clothing, or if you're doing something random where it's like a one and done thing, or like, maybe e-commerce, maybe Twitter would work for you.
Mm,
But for me, I hate Twitter. Like, why are we still doing this? This is silly. Another thing, so there's a lot of platforms that just pop up.
mm.
All right. So, like, I think there's just a new social media platform almost daily that just, we're going to be the next big thing. Those are a no go. Don't waste your efforts over there until something is proven. And, there's a lot of users involved, and you can
Mm.
really get in front of people. You want to put all your efforts into things that you know are going to work in business.
Mhm. I would say keep an eye out though,
For sure.
just in case.
Yeah.
Like at least once a week, I hear about a new app that's supposed to like quote unquote replace TikTok, and
Yeah.
it's supposed to be like the true like free speech app, and I'm like, you will be gone in about a month or so.
Yeah.
So like be on the lookout for it, but don't just immediately jump in.
Yeah, don't go all in.
But I will say, I think with Twitter, I think the appeal for it is that, it is a little bit of like an open discussion type place, which is a good and a bad thing.
Yeah.
Because it's a good thing because, it puts people in front of, the world, like creatives in front of the world. It puts, thinkers in front of the world. But at the same time, it puts people that do not need a platform at all in front of the world.
Yeah.
And I have a little bit of a confession to make.
Okay. You're a Twitter user.
I am a Twitter user.
Oh, God.
I'm not like an avid Twitter user. Like I will go on there once every blue moon.
Go look at your Twitter.
Oh, you'll be seeing stuff about AAT.
Okay.
But no, I have been blocked by folks on social media before.
Oh, all right. Why?
2 people that stand out in particular. One was on Twitter, and I'm not going to go into too much detail because that goes into politics, and I don't want to get in trouble by folks around me. But something was going on with the then president at the time, and I didn't even mention anything about it. I just tweeted out like a GIF of someone sipping coffee.
Okay.
Kind of like representing, me just being calm while the world is burning. And some random lady decided to call me like unpatriotic and say I should be ashamed of myself and all this foolishness. And at the time I had COVID, so I was stuck on the couch for 10 days, bored and low-key tired. So I didn't need to be on social media in the first place. But I got on there and I'm not proud of this, but she caught me at the worst time. I kind of roasted her a little bit to the point where she blocked me.
Oh. Okay.
And then I had a friend that came behind me and roasted her as well. But what he said was worse.
Yeah, well, I think that's kind of the vibe on Twitter. Like, it's just a bunch of opinions, and it's a place for people to have keyboard courage and, like, go at each other. Like, things you would never say to somebody's face, ever. You just fly off the hinge.
Have y'all ever read, like, the comments on TikTok? Like, that's a little bit worse than Twitter. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, so, but like Twitter, that's literally what the platform is for. TikTok is for videos, and if you happen to find yourself in the comments, great, because people are just gonna have opinions anyways. But like, people go there to watch the videos. You know what I mean? So there's a purpose to that platform other than just making random statements and like getting in arguments for no reason. I guess I don't like it because I try to stay away from things that are a useless waste of time. Okay, so like if it causes me to get really opinionated about something that literally is there's no point in it, or if it like raises my blood pressure, right? Because I am an opinionated person, but there's a time and a place, and there's just some things that my opinion doesn't matter. And so like I think that's why I feel so strongly about Twitter, because why are we here? What are we doing? Like we could just be doing something so much more productive with our time.
I get it.
That's true.
I get it. So, Robert, you said something earlier that I kind of like disagreed with, or like was like what, you know?
Okay, we have a Twitter conversation.
No. He he was like he doesn't really like when people hop on trends, but like that's kind of how you gotta go about it, you know?
Well, I'm not talking about people. I'm saying like businesses, because it's like there will be a trend going on for so long and like everyone will be loving it. But then it's like once a business or like a restaurant gets in on it, it's kind of like they kind of ruin it a little bit. So I don't mind, people jumping on trends and stuff, but it's just certain businesses. Like, I don't want to hear Walmart saying they got a white boy in their roster.
Yeah. That's true.
We were literally about to do the TikTok the other day, though.
That's true.
So I get what you're saying, right? But some of our most viewed videos were hopping on trends, right?
Well, I think like if you mix that with other things, it's not so bad. Like if you're a business and all you're doing is hopping on trends, then like you're constantly going to be playing catch up.
Yeah, don't just like go hot, like that's not all you post, but like you got to a little bit here and there. Like you gotta hop on trends a little bit, you know.
Well, I think the trend catches the attention and causes somebody to click, and then once they're there, it's the other stuff that keeps them there. So,
Mhm.
like, if all that you have is like, just little stupid videos, then they're just gonna be like, oh, this is just another stupid video page. But if you pull them over there with something like that and then provide value on your actual page, then I think that there's a happy medium there.
Yeah. I think I just don't want to see like multi-billion-dollar companies jumping on trends because I'm like, y'all don't need to.
Okay.
At that point, like I believe that just your social media presence is enough. Like you are already in front of people. Like I don't think Apple has to do trends. Like Apple just has to be Apple at this point.
So I get that, right? But like anyone can fall off. Like
Yes.
you go a month without using social media, you come back,
You're nobody.
you know, even a bigger like company like Apple or someone like that, like a bigger company, right? Stay off of social media for a little while and like come back.
Well, I'm not saying for them
Like,
to like stay off of social media. I'm just saying
no,
like the
I get what you're
trends and
saying, but
stuff.
like,
I think you're making a good point. Because, like, okay, a company like Apple or Coca-Cola or something like a big brand, they got to the point that they're at in the marketplace by hopping on trends before trends were a thing. You know what I mean? So, like, back in the day before social media, like, for a business to get big, they had to get in front of people by billboards and by commercials and by all these other, like, being in places. And that was literally a trend. It wasn't called trending, but they had to get in, wherever they fit in to be recognized. So I think at this point, 50 years from now, big brands are going to be companies who were doing the same thing now to grow to the point where they're just recognizable. So I think in order to get really big like that, to where everybody recognizes your brand, you have to get in front of people somehow. And for some businesses, that's going to be hopping on trends to like build a brand. Because, like, I don't know, Coca-Cola, if I see a Coca-Cola ad, I'm gonna be like, oh, that's cool. But until I actually use the product and drink the Coke, and like, it's not gonna click why that's a thing. So I'm gonna have to see that a bunch of times before I decide to give them a try. So,
and then sometimes I feel like these bigger companies, like, kind of they create the trends in a way, you know, like let's take Coke for example. I guess I would call it a trend. I don't know, but they had the Santa Claus drinking the Coke. That's kind of iconic. Like,
yeah,
so
And the polar bears.
and the polar bears,
Yeah.
and people see that and like, and that's stuck in their head. Think about Coke around that time,
yeah.
and in a way, bigger companies create the trends. So,
I mean, yeah, you definitely have a point because I'm not even an avid Coke drinker, but growing up, I had a school folder that had the Coca-Cola bears on it, drinking
Okay.
Coke.
Yeah.
But I think what it is that I just don't like seeing companies like make stuff cheesy, if that
Okay.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna do it, be authentic with it. Don't just
Start the trend, don't hop on it.
just don't be cheesy.
Yeah.
Don't be cheesy. But back to posting things, like what are your guidelines regarding like employees posting things on social media? Because I understand that Facebook pages and Instagram pages, they are their personal accounts and things, but at the same time they're still a representative of not just themselves and their family, but they're a representative of the businesses as well.
Yes.
So are there like guidelines that you have in place regarding like the people here at AAT using social media?
This is a tough one. Okay. Because, and I'm just going to be real honest here, and this is for anybody who wants to get a job with us. Before I hire anybody, I go look at their social media. All right. So if I pull up your Facebook profile and I immediately think, like, oh, this person's ratchet, you're not getting hired here.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like in order to represent the company well, you have to already be representing yourself well. And if you're out here on social media acting a fool and starting drama, you're
Mhm.
going to do the same thing in the company. You know what I mean? So, like, you're going to be that person who's always starting drama with somebody for attention, or like you're just saying just stupid stuff just to like say it. And that is not the vibe. Okay. So, I think because of that guideline in the hiring process, I don't really have to monitor everybody who works here. Like, I feel like they aren't out to misrepresent themselves, so they're not going to do that for the company. And I don't stalk everybody's social media. Like, I'm not even on certain platforms like Snapchat. I know is big. I'm not on there. I don't go like. So honestly, I've unfollowed some people on Facebook just because like Facebook isn't. That's not the vibe for me. You know what I mean? So like, I don't really see everything that goes on with the employees, but I trust that they wouldn't be out here acting out. So, I think that if you just value yourself and what you're putting out there as a person, I don't have to do it.
Have you
For
ever
you.
had to like reprimand somebody because of social media?
No, never. Not once. I don't think that I really think that it's a personal thing. So like if there's somebody who is showing out on social media, I'm honestly going to have a work problem with them long before I know about a social media problem. You know what I mean? So like if there is a person who I end up having to get rid of, that would probably be the person that was showing out on social media. You know what I mean? So they kind of go hand in hand. And I think anybody who has an issue with an employee and their social media presence, I think there's a bigger issue there. It's not the social media that's the problem. It's that person's work ethic or personality, or there's something else there that's going to be a problem long before the social media is.
True. Now, I will say, like, just going back to something Seth mentioned about, not being in people's faces, how like that attention drops. We kind of experienced that ourselves a few weeks ago.
Okay.
We were, constantly like posting like smaller videos on YouTube, but videos like This Is the Deal, we took like a 2-week break to get everything for the podcast set up and situated, because I didn't want to like, spread myself too thin. So I'm like, we'll take a break. We'll focus on the podcast. I'll give this, my full attention till it's up and running. We took that 2-week break and them numbers dropped.
Really?
The subscribers didn't, thankfully, but like the viewers dropped. We're getting back into the thousands now, but it was definitely like a wake up call. Like, oh, this is something that has to be a constant thing. Like it can't, if you're going to take a break, have stuff lined up to still be posted while you're on that break. Otherwise, you're not in people's faces. You're not getting attention. And by the way, shout out to YouTube, because they changed their monetization rules.
Okay.
So now you don't need 1,000 subscribers. You just need 500.
Okay.
And we are getting closer to that.
I love that.
But so with that, their monetization rule it's like for ad revenue, you still have to have 1,000.
Okay.
But like other stuff, like it's. Give me a second, I'll go look at it.
Like to take part in their like, sponsorship stuff or
it's
whatever.
like for to like have members join and stuff like that, have stuff like that, you gotta have 500.
Okay.
But for ad revenue, you still gotta have 1,000.
Yeah, because I mean, it's not worth a company's while to put an ad in your video if there's not that many people looking at it.
Yeah.
And I think that's why, like, if you disappear from social media, any platform, their algorithm is going to like kick you out. You know what I mean? So if you're constantly posting, you're engaging an audience. Those are the people that they want to be in front of people, because you're constantly putting new stuff out there. But when you stop that, they're like, oh, they fell off. So like, why are we continuing to put them in front of people?
I noticed we got a bunch of subscribers when we started posting shorts on YouTube. Another music video director, he kind of put me on with it. like I noticed his subscribers jumped up from like around 800 to over 1,000 or something like that.
Right.
I was like, how'd you do that? It's like start posting YouTube shorts, just like anything behind the scenes, anything like that. Just post.
Yeah.
And so I text Robert. I was like, hey, I know a way we can get more subscribers on YouTube. Let's start posting shorts.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the stuff was like just, like the taking random pictures from AAT and like seeing what it would look like as album covers.
Right.
That got us like maybe 3 or 4 subscribers, got us a couple thousand views, but like that's more subscribers,
Right.
And stuff like that.
I think that the shorts or the reels or I don't know if y'all do this. It's kind of the TikTok trend, I guess. So like when you get on TikTok, if I get on TikTok and I start watching little videos, next thing I know, an hour has gone by and I have done nothing with my time. I have consumed all of these short, like just because you're just flipping mindlessly. You know what I mean? Like if you don't like it, you flip to the next one and you're not even searching for anything specific. You're just consuming whatever that app is putting in front of you. And that's how Instagram Reels work. That's how YouTube Shorts work. Like my kids will literally get on YouTube on the TV and just click, 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 click. And all they're consuming is those little short videos. So like when you see something that you like, I find myself just like hitting the plus button. I'm like, oh, let me add them. I'll be a subscriber on their page. Let's follow them because you want more stuff like that. So I think that's kind of the concept behind those shorts is just like you're putting yourself in all the places. And the more places that you are, obviously the more those algorithms are going to feed you to other people.
See, it's kind of like we're in a day and age where like people's attention spans have gotten shorter, so it's short. Like short form content is where it's at. Like music's gotten shorter, TV shows have gotten like as a kid growing up, they had Teen Titans. It was like a 30-minute show, now you go look at Cartoon Network, it's a show, it's called Teen Titans Go. It's like maybe 5-10 minutes at the longest, then they have like a commercial, then another episode of it.
Right.
Like even shows have gotten shorter because attention spans are so short now. Like even like in my own like with TSC Productions, right? I kind of have this issue where like music videos, they're still a thing, right? But with short form content, I'm about to put artists on game and like kind of mess myself up a little bit. But even while music videos are still a thing, short form content has kind of taken over. Artists can go promote themselves by making a TikTok, stuff like that. And it's like, what do they need music videos for when they can make their own video that people are gonna watch?
I cannot remember the last time I've watched a music video.
Well,
I can't
I'm a music connoisseur, so I watch them from time to time. But I will say this, like for those that are on social media teams, consistency is key. I know we talked about, dropping numbers and stuff like that if you take a break. But on top of that, you never know what video will take off or what video will be in, the algorithm and shown to everybody. Because I had a video on TikTok the other day that went like low-key viral.
Okay.
And I was not expecting it. Like it was literally just me responding to a video. This guy he asked AI to make a macaroni and cheese recipe.
Okay.
And he followed the recipe, and the recipe had onions in it for some reason or another.
Okay.
And I just posted a video saying, if you make me mac and cheese and I bite into it and I feel the crunch of an onion, like I'm throwing my plate in your face, like we're fighting, our friendship is done.
Okay.
That thing got like almost 23,000 views and
3,000.
Yes. Yeah, it got like 3,000 likes and almost like 100 comments and like almost 100 people saved it to their favorites and stuff. And I'm like, okay, I'm about to start posting more on my personal side on TikTok, but you never know like what video will be the one to take off. Like that album covers video that we did. I didn't think that it would get, the attention that it
Dang,
did.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying like I knew it would get attention, but
Yeah.
it had numbers that jumped up like overnight. It's one of the most viewed videos that we have on YouTube right now.
Yeah.
But consistency, just like keep going, because you never know which video or which post is going to be the one that helps like take you to that next level.
So
Yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because you started off with like he used AI to create a recipe, right? So
don't use AI to create social media posts. Please
no,
don't do that.
don't use it to create social media posts, but use it to like enhance, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. Because AI is, I get a lot of people are like, oh, it'll take over people's jobs. It's really, in regards to media, you should use it to enhance what you do.
I agree.
Um,
Because that's where we're going, regardless of if it takes over the world or not. Like, that's the direction we're headed in. So, you should definitely use all the tools to do your job. And so, I want to kind of circle back to the consistency that you were just talking about, because for me, as a business owner, that's really why you guys got here in the first place. It's like, I know that we should have a presence outside of this office, meaning, website, social media, all the things that are content related. That is never, ever, ever my focus as a business owner, and I don't think it should ever be a business owner's focus, because you have all these other moving parts and you should have processes in place and like all of these things, but it should not go under the radar either. So like when I realized that I could not consistently do what I needed to do to market the company on social media, that's when we created the content team. So I think that even if you necessarily can't afford a content team in-house, there are plenty of companies that do, consistent five posts a week, or whatever the case may be, whatever your budget can handle. Just so you're consistently putting stuff out there. Because, like, if I go to a business's Facebook page and they haven't posted anything since 2019, I'm going to be like, oh, like, are they even still in business? You know what I mean?
That's
like, I'm
my exact thought.
questioning what they got going on. So, definitely make it a priority to put something out there, but don't make it a priority for yourself as a business owner to handle, because essentially, like, the likes are cool, the follows are cool, like all of that stuff, numbers, you want all numbers to be big. But so for me as a business owner, the numbers aren't making us money. You know what I mean? So like us having 1,000 subscribers, while that sets us up to be able to bring in some ad income here and there, and like that creates a whole new revenue stream, essentially we're not going to be able to afford none of that unless the sales team is making money, which is not coming from those likes and those views. So I think a lot of our followers are not our customers. I think they're just, people who are getting on board with the message or whatever we're putting out there. So as a business owner, just don't mistake likes and comments and views with making money, because unless you're actually closing deals, unless you're selling items, unless you're providing a service, you are not going to last very long, because you've got to have income coming in.
I think we do a good job of pointing people towards the sales team a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, but really that's not what we even started this for. You know what I mean? Like we've done a good job here of getting business just by the sales team doing their thing. Like, we have great proven processes. You guys just came in as a supplement. And I think sometimes like people rely so much on social media to market themselves that all of the rest of that stuff comes to, because like, what if Facebook were to just like fall off the face of the earth? Like, what if the whole internet goes down for 2 months? Like, what are you going to do with your business if you can't get money coming in elsewhere? So I think just relying on that solely is always kind of a mistake.
I think if social media went down, Seth and I would be like riding around handing out flyers and cards and stuff.
Yeah, no, we put you on the phone. Y'all be selling cars.
I'll learn how to talk on the phone real quick.
Yeah.
I can talk on a podcast. I can talk on a phone.
Yeah.
So we gotta wrap this up. We gotta wrap this
They're
up.
like, no, we're not going to the sales team.
I wouldn't
Abort
mind.
mission, abort
I
mission.
wouldn't mind.
If the internet goes down, I ain't got no other
Yeah.
choice.
I mean, but really, like, I guess that's my point is like, as a business owner, I have to be able to adapt our company to any circumstance. So if you have all your eggs in one basket as a business owner, like you're kind of setting yourself up for crisis because like if that one thing goes away, where do you go? So you got to be able to move quickly when it comes to having a business, and you know, especially when you have employees, because if we can't adapt as a company, I got 15 people that are going to be very mad, right?
I get that because like I feel like I might in my like I can't talk. So with my videography, I feel like I only kind of market on social media, but like so I feel like I need to get out of that. I guess you know
Yeah.
because if you know, for instance, like you said, if Facebook went down, if Instagram went down, how else am I marketing? You know.
Yeah.
So I guess I got to get out of that. I'm glad you brought that up.
Absolutely. No problem. Glad to help.
So Seth, was that your takeaway from this episode?
I feel like my takeaway. I feel like I got a bunch of takeaways. I did a lot of talking today.
You did.
Congratulations.
So my takeaway, really, you know, you can't rely just on social media, but while using social media, you got to stay consistent. You know, don't oversaturate people with trends. Use trends, but use it to your advantage, right? Don't oversaturate. But most importantly, stay consistent and don't just use social media. Use other methods of media.
Okay.
Yeah. What about you, Robert? What was your takeaway?
My takeaway is one, you know, stay in people's faces regarding social media. You know, stay consistent, stay on top of your game, be prepared for anything because anything can happen. And I think also from the social media team standpoint, understand that you are a necessity, but you're a little bit expendable.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what I'm receiving this morning.
Okay. All right.
It's like we're needed for the day and time, but at the same time, even if we aren't fully around, the business will still go on. So that's why we have to make sure that, you know, what we do, we add value to it, and that we have to, you know, really give it everything that we got.
Yeah.
And again, just stay in people's faces.
Absolutely.
Stay off Twitter with your business.
Unless you're Wendy's.
Yeah.
I feel like a big part of like what you know, because we got the video where we teamed up with Call to Care. You know, we got that video. It's not about what we do, but it shows the culture we have here.
Yeah.
We have the video. They were just playing the Deal Pong. You know, that shows the culture, the vibe. So it doesn't all just have to be like what we do, but like, you know, obviously some of it has to be, but show the culture around, you know.
Yeah, I think our social media really is used more for having a place where people can learn more about us as a company, more so than, you know, trying to go get business from it. I think that as a brand, if people know your brand, if you show them like what you represent, what your day-to-day looks like, if they feel like they know you, they're going to do business with you. So for us, social media wasn't about, you know, creating ads to try to bring in revenue. Social media was more for showing the world what we got going on, so that when somebody wants to go look us up, or they, you know, get a phone call from a sales rep and then they're like, let me find out more about this company, there was something there for them to actually look at, because people research companies long before they ever contact them. And if you don't have anything out there, then how are they going to research you?
It helps us stay on people's minds.
Yeah, absolutely.
So when that dealer, whoever says, "Hey, I need this car," AAT would be the first people to pop in their brains.
And we should be, because we're the best at what we do.
Absolutely.
So if you need help with your inventory as a dealership, you know who to call.
Yes. Or you can visit our website at autotransfers.com and also visit us on all of our social media platforms that we just happen to be talking about: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn. We're on all those, just Advanced Auto Transfers. And we are on YouTube, youtube.com/@AAT TV, where we have This Is the Deal. You get to see all of our behind the scenes office shenanigans, the dress up days, the deal pong.
So many shenanigans.
It is, but it's awesome. Am I forgetting anything? Oh yeah, How to Be a Boss. There it is. It's now on YouTube as well.
Yes.
So we're not just on this streaming platform that you're listening to. We're not just on Apple Music or Spotify or Amazon, all these places. We are also on YouTube. So if you by chance can't get to Apple or Spotify, go to YouTube. We're there. Is there anything else? Am I forgetting something?
No, you're forgetting to tell everybody goodbye.
Yeah.